Capricorn, hi, Ali from Indigo Ascension. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. Please do go ahead and check out the link below in the description box where you will find information on the work that I do as an intuitive energy healer on my Facebook page, my Instagram page, and also my website address. On the channel, you're going to find fortnightly and monthly readings for empaths, intuitives, and sensitives, going by the zodiac placements, okay? So please do go ahead and check out your sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs. Each month I do what I like to call practically soulful readings, which are an in-depth, well, both the monthly and fortnightlies are an in-depth soul reading, okay? Based on the work that I do, that I fondly call it, God, what do I call it, Capricorn? I fondly call it soul ascension healing. It's about bridging mainstream and soul. It's about connecting you in to your higher knowing. Knight of Pentacles on the side. Maybe that knight is moving a little bit. It's about bridging 5D and 3D, yeah? Because as intuitives, as empaths, it's all well and good to have intuition. It's well and good to have sensitivity and know things on a higher level. But what good is it unless we integrate it into the very realities that we find ourselves in? It's a very big part of the work that I do is about that activation, that realization, that synchronization. Okay, my lovely Cappies. All right, I also, with each reading, I do a cosmic recap, okay? What I like to, I might just close this window behind. What I like to call the cosmic compass, which gives us a snapshot and a look at the influencing cosmic energies at play based on the planetary placements. And if you have already been following astrology and readings, you will know that we've got 6 planets in retrograde in June, and we are currently in an ecliptical window. So we're heading towards a solar eclipse in Cancer. We've just finished a full moon lunar eclipse in Sagittarius at the beginning of the month. Now, with those retrogrades, that's a lot of activity. That's a hotbed of activity, my lovely Capricorn. There's a lot going on, you know, and to simplify it, perhaps, there's a love versus fear energy, this push-pull between ego and soul, okay, internally as is without, and we'll see that energy reflected on a global level too, within our communities, within our families, within ourselves and our personal relationships, okay? There's this love versus fear. There's this freedom versus oppression, wanting to be somewhere other than here and knowing it's going to take a level of patience and compassion for the journey. We've got Saturn, Pluto, Venus, Jupiter, and now Mercury will be heading into retrograde. You know, for the most part, April and May and early June have been this introspective energy, going within, going back through the timeline. Everything we've ever learned about love, connection, intimacy, how we work with expansion and opportunity, how we allow ourselves to grow or not. Are we restricted by the rules and boundaries and the shoulds and can'ts that were handed to us by family values, religious values, society, whatever the case may be? And as is the journey of ascension, we are always growing and evolving. We are ascending out of old paradigms, if you will, Cappy, out of old rules, old ways of doing things, no different to how a child grows and develops. We too grow and develop in our level of consciousness as we connect closer and more strongly into soul. All right, this is the energy of June, and you know, how many of the zodiacs are dealing with that is unique in their own experiences, but there's some very big themes for a lot of the zodiacs. So if you haven't already, go ahead and check out the Instagram page, because that's where I do my weekly energy check-ins, which are just brief 2- and 3-minute videos as a quick weekly check-in for you guys. But the fortnightly and monthly readings on the YouTube channel are always going to be a lot more in-depth, my lovely Cappy. Let's take a look at some cards for you. Going to lay some tarot out. I've already pulled your theme card, which comes from a deck by Denise Jarvie called The Secret Language of Light. Okay, they're Ascension activation cards, if you like. And I'll finish the reading with some unicorn cards, unicorn oracle cards, which are my daughters. I've been wanting to use them for a touch of lightness. Wow. I'm connecting into a lot of Capricorns that are closing massive chapters. The past, the worst is truly behind you. You are closing some significant chapters here, my friend, and there's a lot of new beginning energy, not just around you and evident around you, but also this enthusiasm for that too. Your oracle card is remembrance. Remembrance is numbered 11. Master 11, as in numerology, is the master intuitive. This is about connecting into your higher sense of knowing, your inner knowing, your wisdom, whatever intuition has meant for you. There's a remembering here of purpose, of path, of reason, of going back to the original blueprint of everything you've perhaps let slip aside on one level or another, Cappy. You know, we can get caught up in the whole parenting role. We can get caught up in the last 2 years of a major project, whatever the case may be. Remembrance is unique for us all, but on deeper levels, there's remembrance of our relationship and connection to soul, and more importantly, soul wisdom. Okay? 11 is the number of awakening. Let's take a look and see what the tarot wants to say, my lovely Cappies. I've got the 8 of Wands crossed by the star coming out for you. There's a lot of communications, back and forward communications here, that almost feel like a blessing. Now, you can decide what that means for you. That might be you've just won something, you've just got some good news, you've been accepted, your application has been accepted, you've got that job. Or communications from the divine, okay? It can be happening in the physical, it can be happening in the metaphysical, all right? Maybe I'm just all of a sudden got this urge to tell the Capricorns I'm connecting into. There's a lot of divine messages you're experiencing, whether you are experiencing an increase in awakening, okay? An increase in synchronicities because of the awakening, the remembrance. Perhaps there are Capricorns out there that are seeing repeating numbers. Okay, let me see if I can see stuff here. There's 2 5s. You might be seeing double 5s on car number plates or in phone numbers. All right, but certainly I felt strongly to let whoever's listening that there's a lot of divine messages trying to come through. Your dreams are quite cryptic or lucid, okay? You feel very much a part of some messages coming through from your higher self, all right? And again, practically speaking, there's a lot of backward and forward communication with an Aquarius, okay? Or maybe this has been happening since Aquarian season. You're starting to see the offers roll in, the communications roll in that you have begun back in Aquarius season, which is early February, okay? Maybe you are putting stuff out there. If it's to do with your work, if it's to do with your creative projects, name your thing. There's a lot of movement and communications now that feel divine, that feel inspiring, that feel healing. All right, this is a healing card. Let's take a look. Underneath all this, you've got the Knight of Wands, and that is that fast movement energy, okay? It is ruled by Aquarius, Libra, Capricorn. It is ruled by Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. All right, there's this fast-paced energy. There's no stopping now. And perhaps after a time of healing, after a time of emotional loss, maybe you took a hit somewhere, okay, when it comes to the heart chakra, when it comes to emotional losses, because I'm coming from a past that talks about healing, spiritual healing, integrating, mixing one thing with another, okay? Assessing where I'm at. This is also ruled by Sagittarius, all right? The Temperance card is also ruled by Sagittarius, but it's a healing nonetheless. Maybe this full moon lunar eclipse at the very beginning of June was poignant for you as far as healing from emotional losses, or at least losses that affected you on some level. Because where we're at now, I see I'm connecting into Capricorns that are in a middle of a boost. Like it's almost like, yeah, it's my time now. And you know what? You guys have been leading an ecliptical cycle with Cancer over the last 2 years. You're definitely feeling a closure to the last 2 years, the last 2.5 years, as far as lessons, the integrations of strong wisdoms, and how much you really have achieved, okay? Many Capricorns, you know, the past continually showed up in some way, all right, in the last 2 years. Memories of the past, integrating the wisdoms of the past, the lessons of the past. It's almost like it was front and center in your face. As much as you were trying to move forward, it's like there was this need to truly integrate everything that's ever happened on major levels here. And it can be certainly in relation to how much you know that there are messages or synchronicities or divine guidance on some level that was trying to get through to you. I actually feel in many ways it was a major part of activating your intuition to that next level, is what I want to say, Cappy. But maybe you were being practical, maybe you were healing, maybe you were going through whatever the case may be, because I have got the 9 of coins on the table as well. So I was like, that's about being practical. It's about building self-sufficiency. It's about building our goals so that I can pat myself on the back. And if I am too focused in the physical realms, what's going on around on the material realms, or, you know, practical things that I can see and touch, the more and more I'm going to be disconnected from soul, the more I'm going to be disconnected from intuition, yeah? I'm feeling this strongly with the Capricorns that I'm connecting into, but I feel like there's this sudden awakening energy, like something has synced, something has clicked. I get it now. I get the intuitive reasons, the lessons, the wisdoms, the soul wisdoms, the intuition about what I've learned in my past, because you guys were leading the South Node. That's all about finalizing the past, really not just letting it linger on energetic, emotional, or mental levels, because we can be completely influenced by the past, past failures, past inabilities to truly integrate wisdoms, because we've kept ourselves busy, we've avoided it on some level, whatever the case may be, Cappy. I get this sudden rush of it's go time now. You're seeing clearly, you're wanting to maybe rush back, you know, on some level. But I feel this forward momentum nonetheless after a time of healing, okay? Healing from emotional losses. What's likely to happen next is your 0 point, the Fool, embarks upon a whole new chapter. Like, I can't stress this enough. This is endings and beginnings, guys. It's a beautiful new chapter. And, you know, we've got the Cancer solar eclipse happening on the 21st of June, and also the new moon in Cancer at 0 degrees. Maybe this is in a strong connection to your personal relationships, because Cancer does rule your 7th house. Now, that's all the ways in which we connect to anyone in our personal lives, romantic or otherwise, Capricorn. There's a whole new beginning here, and this might be a whole new mindset in my thoughts, my motivations, my intentions, my fears that don't exist anymore. Whatever the case may be, there was something that had to end here subconsciously, emotionally, energetically. I feel this is on deeper levels for a lot of Capricorns. And if you're not feeling it yet in the final 2 weeks of June, you very well will feel this, I'm wanting a new beginning. Okay? And we can always have a new beginning in every day. Every day is a moment to start again within every circumstance we're in, okay? We can look at it with new eyes. We can look at it with a whole new, you know, you're wanting to manifest change. You're seeing that manifestation of change. Evidence, whether that is evident in your life in a tangible form, that change really is here on some level that you can see and touch. Whether you're feeling that internally on the emotional realms and the energetic realms, the thought realms, after a time of conflict, all right, you're starting to see genuine evidence of change. You're experiencing genuine evidence of change, and it's promising. You're also looking at yourself in a whole new way. Again, I'm feeling like I'm talking to Capricorns that are like, nah, not yet, okay? Because I feel this energy strongly. I feel this healing energy strongly, and then there is like this boom, okay? So again, all time is transient, all right? So take whatever resonates, but I use these timestamps, okay? So just because I say it's for June the 15th to the 30th, time is fluid, all right? It hits you when it's meant to, when you hear this message. So maybe you're hearing this message and this isn't happening yet. This is more like a motivation and a heads up, and hey, you've got stuff to finalize here and look forward to. Most importantly, Cappy, in July is your final solar eclipse, okay? You're finalizing a 2.5 year ecliptical cycle. So for very many Capricorns, that's when you will feel this rush. You will feel clear. You will feel that energetic sense within you of a new beginning. You will see the manifestations of evidence of change, of the evidence of your manifestations. So hang on to that belief, hang on to that deeper pull that you know is pulling you forward, because you have spent the last 2.5 years with South Node energy continually being influenced by the past. Whether you found yourself having to readdress decisions you've made in the past. Was it the right one? Did I do the right thing? Have I learnt my lesson? Have they learnt their lesson? Whatever the case may be, you were continually called into the past because you were ruled by the South Node. You were ruling and leading the South Node, all right? The North Node, Cancer was ruling the North Node, so a lot of Cancerians were very much done with the past, that they were very forward focused. It was about self, it was about forward momentum. But as you wrap up an ecliptical cycle in the South Node, there is guarantee that you will feel the release of the tentacles, the reins of the past. Release from your psyche, release from your emotional body and your energetic body. I am feeling it strongly with the Capricorns I'm connecting into, that you're not quite there yet. You probably aren't resonating with this message. You might even be in conflict mode with yourself as you self-evaluate and go, I haven't quite achieved yet. I'm still not there yet. There's something that requires healing, ending, or, you know. So I do want to say to those Cappies, trust, because there's going to be good news here. You're going to get some good news. You finish your reading with the Page of Wands, and I even want to keep clarifying, because I see here that I'm connecting into Capricorns that are focused very much on the material realms, very much on the outside manifestation realms. It's almost like you're desperate for evidence of change is what I'm feeling. Yeah, show me a good time. Well, then show me where I've won that thing, or I've got that job, or whatever the case is, like, or that I secure that house that I want to buy. I'm not sure what it is that I'm picking up on to be very specific, but it's almost like there are Capricorns out there that I'm feeling you're very focused on that, wanting to see the manifestation. Yeah, if belief is real, if angelic guidance is real, and my intuition is real, my intuition tells me X, Y, Z. So Ali, show me the manifestation of that, and then I will believe. That's what I'm feeling. So I do want to say to the Capricorns out there that are starting to feel a little bit still held back by the energy of the past, by the conflicts within you and within your lives, as you self-assess, but also more importantly as a Capricorn, self-criticize, because you're always going to be pushing yourself to be that 10 steps further than everyone else, okay? Really, truly look back on your whole journey and how much you have achieved, even while you've been doing this deep inner work in the last 2.5 years, Cappy. And you know what I'm talking about here. You guys aren't about to shout it from the rooftops. There was a lot of emotional and energetic healing and thought healing that had to happen, that really challenged you to go through the timeline of where you learnt certain beliefs, where you decided to allow emotions to freeze on some level, where you decided to, okay, I'm going to focus on pushing myself so much so I don't have to focus on that thing. I'm feeling that from you, Cappy. Trust that even though while you've been kicking goals, and there have been many Capricorns that have kicked a lot of goals because they've been motivated by their past too. All right, that tells a story in itself, Capricorn. You know, we could be like, well, that was a failure, that massive thing massively failed, so now I'm going to put all my energy into it and I'm going to show them. I'm going to show myself. You know, it's that kind of energy. So you have still, for many Capricorns, you have still kicked massive goals in the last 2 years, simultaneously healing this deeper stuff. So it's almost like you've been where you're, enough is enough, Ali. Show me the manifestations. If all this guidance is real, and if everything I've ever felt is real, and particularly since Aquarius season, okay? It's almost like you got to Aquarius season and you're at a crossroads. All right, so early February, go back to early February, before all the lockdown stuff, before all the, you are perhaps even needing that introspective time to release the final remnants, to actually listen. If you, especially if you are the Capricorn that has been keeping yourself busy, conflicted in busyness. And I'm not saying you've all ignored the last 2 years of integrations here. You haven't. You've been doing it simultaneously while you've been trying to do this thing. The solar eclipse in Cancer, not only that, but the solar eclipse in Capricorn in July will eclipse. It will eclipse, okay? You are leading up to this now or never energy. But make no mistake, Capricorn, this energy will be gone from your life, will be gone from your psyche, will be gone from your emotional field, unless you choose to continue to manifest this conflict, because a conflict lies deeper. And you already, I'm connecting into Capricorns that already know this, because you've connected to it on so many levels within the last 2.5 years in one way or another. It will be eclipsed unless you continue to choose to keep manifesting conflict because you've avoided it on some other level. Okay? And that is self-directed. I say this with a lot of love, Cappy. We all do it. You know, it's the eat, sleep, repeat pattern that's going to keep me busy so I don't have to feel. And then the world found themselves in lockdown, and then we all had to sit and just feel our feels, yeah? I know you hate connecting into your emotional body. But it was essential. It was about you removing yourself from self-confined conflict to truly look at what has been manifested from this energy, okay? Because it's safer to be in this mental conflict, outside conflict, rather than be in the emotional conflict within. Yeah? I'm glad that thing's gone. I'm glad I can just battle that way instead, rather than have to admit that I've felt a deep loss at the heart level. And so I'll push and fight anyone that wants to get in my way so that I can get to a point that I'm tangibly counting all the things that I have gained. And it's not about that material satisfaction, but that to have and to hold something that I have built, created, purchased with my own hard toil, that is evidence to me, because I can see, because I don't want to feel the stuff that I can no longer tangibly hold. A time that's gone. A time in the river as it flows that can't go back now. I feel like crying, Cappy. I can't get that back. And when that time is gone, we know that on many different levels. You know, but there's going to be some part of our emotions that will still focus, you know, on that loss in one way or another. Despite how busy you are on the surface, okay, no one sees the emotional body of a Capricorn, and underneath it, you know, is that, and that's what this has been about. Okay, maybe that's why I was picking up on that energy earlier when I was like, I can feel it. You aren't feeling this yet because you haven't even perhaps said that to yourself. All right, my lovelies. But there is good news that comes your way in the realms of another thing that you have achieved. Okay, this is something else, but the biggest spiritual achievement, the remembrance. Okay, remember the remembrance card. The biggest spiritual achievement you have made is that you have kicked these goals. You have battled the external worldly battles, okay? Whether that's paying bills, making yourself successful, getting through stuff, whatever the case is. Not only have you done that, but you have simultaneously done this healing too. As much as you probably think you haven't. It's almost like this time before the eclipse is asking you to reconnect in as the final little dregs, the final little let goes. And I guarantee it, Capricorn, I guarantee that by your solar eclipse in July, you will feel like this on many levels. Okay? So that was on the bottom of the deck, the Ten of Swords. The High Priestess is also following that. This is about connecting into your intuition, your remembering. The High Priestess is ruled by Pisces and Cancer, okay? She is completely guided by the shadow experiences of her light as well as the light. She's got a balanced view there, okay? This is about you dealing with your past, the past coming back for a final review, and that's very much what all of the zodiacs are influenced by, these 5 planets in retrograde, okay? You have double 5. 5 is the number of change. It is time for change for us all, my lovely Capricorn. Wow, High Priestess and Judgment. This is stuff that you don't talk about. That you sense, you know, that it's there in the past, that it felt like this. Okay, and how ultimately it has shaped your fears. And rather than addressing those fears, which you always found yourself at a crossroads, you focused on material success, succeeding, wanting to work on something. And I'm definitely connecting into Capricorns that wanted to work on understanding this, and you have been doing that, okay? Because it was about manifestation. It was about identifying the ways in which I am not manifesting in the way I want. Why am I manifesting the same feelings, the same experiences? I truly want to tap into the power of manifestation. Well, if we're going to be doing that, Capricorn, we need to really clear the channel of everything that gets in the way of that, so that we are a clear channel. Yeah. No more juggling, no more investing in something that is a distraction or is taking us away or is aligned to an older belief, a false belief. It's about aligning you to where you're meant to be so that you can manifest that ideal vision, future, project, success, version of yourself, and taking that Queen of Swords energy. You might even have air placements in your chart. They're relevant. I keep feeling like it's relevant, whether you're connecting into an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. If you have those zodiac placements, it's relevant, Cappy, okay? This is about you taking on board your Queen of Swords energy, where she does not deal with conflict, okay? She knows how to say no. She addresses it the minute it arises. So however your coping mechanisms have been, are eclipsing too, all right? You're really assessing the successes, you're assessing your life path, you're assessing your career choices, your financial gains and losses, okay? So that you know exactly when something is tangible and it is offered, that it is aligned to you, that you know what you have to offer. Take that however it resonates, guys, when it comes to the realms of creativity, love, work, all right? And that it is heartfelt, that you're not just doing something because you should be doing it or because it is aligned to an old belief, an old way of doing things, an old set of values, or because it is aligned and tainted by old pain. You are doing it because you offer it as a tangible offer, all right? I'm connecting into a lot of Capricorns that are still, and you guys will know, you'll know what I mean. You're holding back on some level, all right? And you will continue to do so. Why do I keep feeling August into next Aquarian season is relevant for you? For this frequency that I'm picking up on as a final release, okay? It's almost like I'm connecting into Capricorns that kept themselves so busy in a potent 2.5-year ecliptical window that those wisdoms are now only just integrating in the last 6 months. That will make sense for some Cappies that I'm connecting into. Maybe children are involved, okay? Maybe you owe yourself an apology. Oh, wow. That was random. When we yawn, we're drawing in and needing more light. Maybe you're needing to draw in this divine light, this divine inspiration. Okay? There's a heartfelt expression here, Cappy. an apology. But this is about clearing the channel is what I feel, okay? Instead of holding back, really assessing everything I've learned. And I truly, strongly feel that there are still some Capricorns that I'm connecting into that will continue this clearing work, continue this assessment mode of everything you've learned in the last 2.5 years, that you will have this opportunity to feel like this, okay? Between August this year and February next year. That is a time frame that's significant for a lot of Capricorns, as a true celebration of your successes and the purpose of all things. But there are many Capricorns I'm connecting into that are getting these downloads and sudden realizations, and they are awakening to this strong sense of a new beginning that they're wanting now. All right, my lovely Cappies. This week's readings for the last few days, I've been very sinusy and hay feverish now. That's a lot of crown upgrades. It's a lot of third eye upgrades. It's a lot of light upgrades, drawing that light in with a yawn. Let's finish with an oracle card, Oracle of the Unicorns, my lovely Capricorns. No, I'm just feeling very tired, and I want evidence of my manifestation is what I'm feeling from Cappies. Alright, but the final 2 weeks looks good, Cappy. If I'm talking to Capricorns that have been ignoring the wisdom of soul and sort of been pushing, you know, reoccurring themes, symbols, synchronicities to the back burner, then maybe now is the time to pay attention more than you normally would and watch manifestations and growth in that area of your life. That was reluctant to come out. Wow. Received is on the bottom, and I felt like I needed to tell you that. I don't know, I'll explain what the card is. Be open to receiving goodness. Believe you are worthy of abundance. There is a gift coming to you soon, which confirms the Page of Wands card that you finished your reading on, Cappy. That there is good news coming. Okay? Be open to receive. Okay, but I'll show you the card that I pulled out. Passion. Do what excites you. Get fired up about your life. Increase your energy levels. Maybe that's why I was feeling tired. I was connecting in to Capricorns that are energetically drained. They're just waiting for that manifestation. They're feeling like they're at a crossroads. They can sense that something is coming, but there's almost this frustration energy that it's not quite here yet. There's a final trip back into the past, a final healing. Okay, if this is relevant to you, then that's the case. There are also Capricorns I'm connecting into that have done this work. They have acknowledged the purpose and the reason behind the pains and the betrayals of the past. And they are ready. They are ready for the new. So there's a few different waves of Capricorn that I'm picking up on. You know, those that are ready to do that now. Those that will be doing that at any point between August this year and February next year. It's a very strong message that I'm getting, guys. But right now, you're wanting to feel connected to your passion, your excitement, your fire body. And you know what? It is natural that will come out in conflict. We will engage that energy in conflict with others because we are in conflict with self. So just be aware. This is also creative passion, passion for purpose, path, direction, connections that we have in our lives. You know, we all deserve to feel passionately excited because how numbing is it to do that eat, sleep, repeat pattern? Yeah. Those introspective moments are necessary, Capricorn, to get to the heart of the matter of what truly drives us. That's why we do need to take those timeouts from kicking material goals and successes on the physical levels, on the tangible level, so that we can really get to the heart of the matter, back to blueprint. And if we need to replan or redo everything or continue as we were, and then just do that with a full heart and enjoy it. Yeah? Take however it resonates, Cappy. But that is your reading, my dear friend, for June the 15th into the 30th. And if you haven't already, go ahead and check out the Instagram page for your weekly energy check-ins, which I do on every Monday, okay? I'm based in Australia, so you will receive that on a Sunday if you're on the Northern Hemisphere, okay? But fortnightly and monthly readings are up on the YouTube channel, so if this resonates, please do like, share, and subscribe, and let your empath and sensitive friends know. Alrighty, that was your reading, and I will see you in July, my lovely Capricorn, for your readings then. Until then, enjoy the final 2 weeks of June. Take care, and namaste.